What's good YouTube? It's your boy Humble Warrior back with you guys with another video. So today's Thursday. The last 48 hours have been a world storm, between Tua being benched, between them immediately coming out and naming Quinn Ewers the starter, Zach Wilson's now the backup, and Tua's now the third string emergency quarterback, just in case both Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers go down with injuries for whatever reason. Been a lot of talk all over basically Twitter, other media pundits and stuff like that about the future of Tua. Let me just say this right here. We don't know what's really going to happen, but I do know that his spirits are broken because of what he deemed to be a really good guy of a coach has now completely turned his back on him. And I read Omar's comment talking about, Tua's lack of his arm limitation has stifled the offense, and then he said the playmakers are lackluster. Then which one is it, Omar? I mean, because you gotta have some type of playmakers around you. It can't be, Tua's arm limitation has stifled the offense, but the playmakers are also lackluster. It can't be both. It gotta be one or the other. It's gotta be a reason why Mike McDaniel decided he gonna move on, because if that's the case, Quinn Ewers has the most arm talent, but his IQ is garbage. So clearly, if they drafted Quinn Ewers in the 7th round, then he would have had a fair shot coming to the season to beat out Tua right away to be playing. But when nobody talking like this beginning of the season, it wasn't until the damn Pittsburgh Steelers lost. Everybody's on board with the move on from Tua. Everybody wants to experiment with the Quinn Ewers thing, and it's like, that's fine and dandy. He's like a flashy little toy, but you don't know what he's gonna do. The only game we can go off of is the Cleveland Brown game, and it's not fair to Quinn because that game right there was wash-up duty, and he came in there and offense went 3 and out. He threw a pick. I think he threw a pick in that game, and didn't look great at all. But to say that we should move on from Tua in 2026. Theoretically, you're not going to move on from him with all that money that he's due next year. It's like $56 million. You really think they're going to eat that kind of money? No. So he's going to be playing next season. The question is, do you get a version of 2023 Tua, or do you get the same version that you got this past season, which to me is way below the standard that he set for himself? So that means that he has to go back to the drawing board all off season, get his body right, get his body to where he can be a little bit more mobile, his arm can be a little bit more stronger, and he can go back to being the Tua that we all saw and admired in 2023. That's the Tua he has to get back to being. Does that mean that they're going to actually build around him? I don't know, because Tyreek Hill is his biggest question mark. Does he come back after next season, or does he demand just to get out of Miami and go play for somebody else? Because Tyreek still has a contract, I think, of 2 years. And then after that, they have to renegotiate or re-sign him or whatever. But he has another year on his contract to come back in year 2026. It's just a question of, is he going to come back to play with vengeance? Or is it going to be a situation where he demands the way out of Miami and he doesn't suit up at all? So, personally, I think Tyreek's going to come back. Based on the injury, based on the way he went down, and based on how the season went, he has a lot that he wants to prove. That's wonderful and all, but hell, the entire team has some stuff they got to prove. It ain't just Tyreek and Tua. But I think with saying that the person that should be the most pissed off is Tua. Because with 3 games left, Mike McDaniel basically pulled the plug on him, and now he just sitting there watching the first and second string guys practice, take all the reps, while he just sitting there, basically with a clipboard in his hand, going through the plays and stuff like that. The plays that he knows. So it's like, this is definitely the lowest moment. It's not the injuries, it's not the the pre-draft analysis, none of that. It's this moment right here that has to be the lowest for Tua. But the question becomes, how do you bounce back from it? Because, with every person, people handle mental obstacles differently. Everybody don't handle things the same way. And like he said, he had contemplating quitting at one point. He asked himself, was he good enough to even play in the league? To me, he's very damn good. He's a good ass quarterback. he even can become great. Now, to become elite, he has to take his game to an unchartable level. Do I think he's capable of doing it? Yes. But have we seen it? No. So that's his only, like, I guess you could say, thing that's hindering him from making that transformation to a elite type player. But that don't mean he can't reach that statue, or that don't mean he can't reach that statue. So for him, it's kind of like you have to come into next season with the mindset that you will be the difference between wins and losses. You will be the guy that everybody can look to for leaderships, no matter what type of situation you find yourself in the game. And you will be the one to deliver 9 times out of 10 to get the job done, so that way people will not question if you are the golden guy in Miami. So he has a hell of a lot on his plate coming in 2026. Now, some of that stuff could have been done this year, but let's be real, man. Miami team isn't built correctly at all. You gave him one decent back and Achane. You gave him a power back with no moves and Gordon. And then Jalen Wright is a dependable bruiser, but let's be real here. He don't even get enough touches in the game. So the way the offense is constructed, you got no line, and you got subpar receivers at best. Jalen Waddle, then you got the superstar track star in Tyreek Hill, and then you have other guys that, you know, they mean well, but their contributions are limited based on play calling, route concepts, and stuff like that. So he doesn't have a whole lot to work with when it comes to playmakers. Does he need everybody? No. But hell, let's be real here. If you give Aaron Rodgers, Malik Washington, and goddamn D. Estrus and Darren Waller, he's not gonna do a lot either. Now, he's not gonna do a lot with Jalen Waddle either, because let's be real, Jalen Waddle, the way he runs his route, he's never looking back at the quarterback. He's running routes, and then when he tends to break, he's just gonna run the full route in its fullest extent. He's not gonna try to go back and save a ball or prevent a turnover or whatever the case is. That's not what he's gonna do. He's just gonna run the route the way he's running it, and when he's done, he's done. So at least with Tyreek, he'll stop on a dime to go back and fight for the ball, or to jump up to prevent a potential turnover. That way it saves Tua on the stat sheet of an interception or whatever. Other than that, who else is he being dependent upon? Himself. Which goes back to what I had just said. Like, he has to become the guy in that locker room that everybody can look forward or look to for everything they're going to need to go out there and play an A1 game every single Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever. Whatever day they got to play up, suit up on, they need to be looking to him for inspiration. Because Mike McDaniel himself is literally failing this team. But of course, people are going to say it's all on Tua, when it's like, all the thing Tua is doing is executing the play call. All he's doing is executing the play design being called. And to me, it's unfair, because he's taking the blunt of this bullet, because at the end of the day, Mike McDaniel's incompetent with what he does, and it's the same concepts over and over and over again. There's nothing really being done that's creative or anything of that nature. And without Tyreek Hill, let's be real, that offense does not flow. You need that type of damn separation constantly to put pressure on defenses. Other guys just can't do that. They just can't. And that's something that people have to come to grips with. Without that main element, your offense is in chaotic mode. Because the moment Tyreek Hill went down, look at how much worse we actually got. I'm not saying we were better with Tyreek, but you did put fear in defenders. They had to stay back. They had to do a 10-yard buffer to give people a chance or whatever. But with Tyreek Hill at the helm, or without Tyreek Hill at the helm, defenses knew for a fact we were never gonna get by them. We were never gonna get down that field. We can try, but a corner's going toe-to-toe, a number 2 corner at that matter, 2s and 3s are going toe-to-toe with Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, running with him down the field like this is a whole track meet. It's like, bro, this is embarrassing. And we're not getting no type of oomph on the ball, no type of separation, no type of anything. Where is food going? So to me, It's downright fucking crazy if you ask me. Look at this fool. And they expect, like I said, they expect Quinn Ewers to come into that and do something with it. But I wish that kid the best. But as far as Tua goes, man, I would say Tua, you got to go back to performance or next performance or whatever that company is called that helped you get that play style that you had in 2023. You have to somehow find that again, or the 2018 Tua, the guy that was fearless. I'm not talking about you running over people. That's not what you do. What you do is you will make plays to keep drives extended and to put the ball in the end zone. That's what you do best. That is one of your superpowers. Outside of accuracy and anticipation, you will do what is needed to keep the drive alive. The problem you have is that not everybody's on the same page, and not everybody actually runs routes to get open. They run the route lackadaisical, which makes the offense even more harder to operate. So you cannot continue to blame yourself for something that other guys are doing. Just like Kurt Warner's breakdown yesterday that I saw with my own eyes. A lot of those routes were basically half-ass ran. They ran with no conviction, no motivation, no inspiration to get off the ball within a second and a half notice, to give it to us something to throw to. Most guys are just going through the motion out there. And because of that, defenders are sitting on certain routes and they're waiting for this man to make a mistake, or they're waiting for him to throw it to them, which is what he did on that corner route with Waddle. And that route made no sense because you only put 2 receivers out there to run. They had a couple of times where they did have 3 receivers on the field, and the concept they ran was even more stupid. And you had more defenders than offensive players out there ready to do something. So it's like Tua is forcing the ball to guys, and most guys either, one, they can't get enough separation, or when they do catch the ball, it immediately touches the turf because they're throwing it back to them. So Tua has to find that next notch to push, the next level to activate. Because right now, the way he's playing right now is certainly not good enough. But that don't mean that I'm giving up on him, because I understand he can become a legendary quarterback. He just needs the right combination to make that happen. It has to start up here first. No matter what coach you have, it has to start up here, because Mike McDaniel himself doesn't seem like he was a competent coach. He seemed like he was a better play caller than a coach. So if Tua got an actual coach that could very well identify the serious problems on the team and address those, then I think Tua would excel beyond what people can even imagine. But right now, the way the team is constructed, do you really think they're going to win 11, 12 games? Fuck no. They got close, I think 2023, they were 11-5. Or no, they were 10-6, I believe it was. It was either 10-6 or 11-6. I think it was 11-6. And that's it. That's the closest they got to having a really, really good season. And even that year, they should have beat Philly, and they damn sure should have beat the Bills. But hey, it is what it is, right? So we have to address a lot this offseason. The last 3 games aren't that important, although they do kind of help with the draft placement. But other than that, him, meaning Tua, and McDaniel has to sit down and come to some type of reconciliation to where this buck stops now. Because right now he's simply throwing this dude on the bus to save his own ass. And at the end of the day, you don't realize what you're doing is handicapping your opportunity at another head coaching job. If you're going to butcher your own quarterback at the expense of keeping your own job, why do you need to be a head coach? So my whole thing is build an offense to where Tua can successfully create for you and produce without all the extra stuff. The extra stuff isn't needed. It really isn't. All the motions and switches and all that stuff, that's what you want to do. That does not make Tua successful. He didn't do all that in Alabama. And he had 3 different offensive coordinators. So you need to understand that most of his stuff is off what he can do with his manipulation of the defense. But it starts up front. Don't care what toy you go get him, it starts up front. If you do not adjust your offensive line, Mike McDaniel, I don't care what quarterback you get, you're not going to win. Your offense will become stagnant just like it has been this year, and you will get exposed over and over and over again next season. Because every single team will come in there to either defeat what you're trying to do best, or they're gonna attack physically your line up front and make your quarterback basically have to beat them by himself. Because let's be real, Jonah is the worst guard probably in the league. And he's just a rookie, I get it, but man, you don't see much hope with him. You see more highlight or blooper reels of him getting pushed back directly in the tool over and over, and it's not looking good. So I'm gonna need him some kind of way to, this offseason. You need to get in that gym. You need to chisel your body up completely. You need to build yourself into a brick house, or you might want to go to Mortal Kombat and steal Jack's arms, his bicentennial arms, where nobody can fuck with you ever again. Cause it ain't looking good for you, my man. But that's my 2 cents, cause I want to see Tua succeed next season. I do know he has some big decisions to make. I'm praying that he doesn't walk himself out the league based on what people been saying. But if I could tell him anything, I would tell him this. I still believe that you can make a difference in the league. I still believe you can compete at the highest level. I just need you to stop being who you're not. That's all. I believe you can extend plays, but are you a scrambler? No. You make plays within the pocket. When the pocket completely breaks down, you run outside the pocket. You don't have to run over nobody. You can slide or whatever and get 6-7 yards. You ain't got to go lower your shoulder to hit nobody. Remember, you need your shoulders for throwing, just like you need your hips, right? So with that, I wouldn't waste my time lowering the boom on nobody. The only exception to that is if it's like a 4th and goal play at the 1 and you're trying your damnedest to run through the next person and get in the end zone. That's the only exception to that rule. Other than that, fuck no. Take your damn 6-7 yards and going back to the huddle. Preserve your body. Play for the next snap. Continue to keep that in your head. Play for the next snap. It's important. But anyway, guys, let me go. Like I said, definitely wishing Tua the best, because I know it's going to be hard for them to let him go in 2026. But I'm hoping that he'll return, be the starting quarterback, have an amazing training camp, have a much better training camp and, regular season next season, so that the analysts and media people can leave him the hell alone. Like, just like I had told my other boy, if I'm Tua, man, my whole motto next year is leave me the fuck alone. I don't care what media pundits, I don't care what none of y'all got to say. My whole thing is avenging 2025 and 2024 to play a lot better, like I know I'm capable of playing, for myself and my teammates. That's it. I'm not doing it for the fans, for the city, nothing. I'm doing it for my teammates in the locker room and for myself. Because the fans are showing their colors. They say whatever. 1 minute they down with you, the next minute they clowning your ass. They're ready for you to go. So there's no loyalty in the fan base at all. It's either one side or the other. But let me know what you guys think, man. On that note, have a good one and happy holidays. Peace.